You know, in the worlds of myth and really deep philosophy, some ideas aren't just thought up, they're awakened. Today, we're jumping into a story about a consciousness that literally shatters a thousand-year slumber just to declare its own existence into being.
So let's set the scene. We're at an ancient burial mound, a hauger, and the source material tells us this frost, it's not just frozen water. It's the physical manifestation of a stagnant will, a kind of potential energy that's been locked away, frozen in time for a whole millennium.
For 1,000 years, this barrow has been its own little universe, a closed system just dreaming of itself. But every system has a breaking point, right? And the catalyst, the spark that lights the fuse here, is a death. The very last member of the legendary Volsung bloodline dies. This external event is about to set off a massive internal earthquake. Now this is where the philosophy gets really cool. The end of these old heroes, what the text calls the not I, or the external world, pulls the rug out from under the burrow's long dream. This forces the internal consciousness, the I, to stop dreaming and actually start being. And this figure, the Grungild Nar, or the Jester, he doesn't just wake up, he literally creates himself out of nothing.
So you see, this awakening isn't just about someone opening their eyes. It's a massive philosophical event. The Jester doesn't just reappear, he posits himself into existence. And that brings us to our first huge concept here. This incredible act of self-creation is basically Fichte's first principle in action. Okay, let's break that down. The absolute ish, or the absolute self, it's not a thing you are, it's something you do. It's a constant, pure activity of creating yourself. Just by becoming self-aware and declaring I am, this consciousness forges its own existence into reality. It's an act, not a static fact.
And you can hear it perfectly in the Jester's own words. He says he isn't the man himself, he is the activity that comes before the man. His entire existence kicks off with this pure action of self-awareness. It's a seriously radical and powerful way to think about being.
And this new being is a complete living contradiction, which is brilliantly shown in how he looks. One hand is gold, representing the heavy, tarnished burden of the past. The other is green and mossy, symbolizing the future, this growing, verdant hunger. He is the physical embodiment of what was and what will be, all rolled into one. But come on, an idea this revolutionary can't just show up without a fight. Every self-creating I has to face its opposite, the not I. And for our Jester, this challenge shows up in the form of the Skald, a keeper of the old ways, a fierce defender of tradition.
So what exactly is this not I? Well, think of it as everything outside of that self-creating consciousness. It's the heavy weight of history, the rigid rules of tradition, the solid facts of physical reality, and the whole idea that truth is something fixed, something handed down from the past that you can't change. And this is the heart of the conflict. It's a clash of two totally different worldviews. You've got the Jester on one side, all about freedom, action, and constantly becoming something new. And on the other side, you've got the Skald, who defends the fixed histories and traditions of the dead. It's a showdown between a dynamic future and a static past.
And you can just feel the outrage in the Skald's accusation here. He looks at the Jester and doesn't see a creator. He sees a thief, a grave robber who's desecrating a sacred, established order, just parading around in the stolen glory of better men.
Okay, so the Skald has thrown down the gauntlet. How does the Jester respond? Well, he doesn't just argue back. He does something much smarter. He completely reframes the entire debate, introducing a way more powerful way of seeing reality itself. And here's the key, the real mind bender. It's all about this third principle. The I and the not I aren't just at war with each other. They're in a kind of constant dance, where they both limit and define each other. And it's that interaction, that push and pull, that actually creates the world we all experience.
The Jester uses this very idea to tear down the Skald's precious heroes. He says, look, the Volsungs failed because their whole approach was broken. They weren't free, they were slaves to the not I, slaves to their greed, to magical swords and rings, to endless feuds. They let the external world limit them so much that they were eventually just swallowed by the object until nothing was left of them but a name carved on a rock. So what's the Jester's better way? It's a total flip of the power dynamic. Instead of being passively limited by the world, he actively limits the world himself. He uses laughter to control the weight of the past, the gold, and his own powerful will to shape the chaotic future, the green. He doesn't just accept boundaries, he creates them and then dances all over them.
And this all leads to his incredible, triumphant declaration. He says that because he understands the nature of his own limits, he isn't trapped by them. This self-awareness is the key. It's the source of his real freedom and power. He is the master of the dance.
And just like that, the Skald's worldview is shattered. The philosophical duel is over. But this victory, it's about way more than just one argument. It signals the beginning of a totally new game of sovereignty, one that's built on the amazing power of a self-creating mind.
This right here is the ultimate takeaway. The world isn't some fixed tragedy written by dead heroes that we're all just forced to live through. No, it's a Wissenschaftslehre, a science of knowledge, a system where reality is actively built by the mind. The rules aren't given to us, the rules are made by us.
So as he leaves to go challenge the world of men, the jester basically proclaims he's untouchable. He says any physical attack can only hit his external shell, then not I. But his true self, his absolute itch, that pure act of self-awareness, it remains completely untouched, totally free, and just laughing at it all.
And so, the jester's performance truly begins. He leaves us with this final, provocative question. It turns all of this abstract philosophy right back on us, and it asks us to think about what true freedom, true sovereignty might actually look like, in a world where the self isn't a fortress to be defended, but a game to be played.